And now, directed practice. This is something that is, in my view, much underused. And it's probably because we have very little time to spend with each child, or each group of children even. It's hard to get around and look over their shoulders and see what mistake they're making and be able to correct it. If you're working one-on-one with a student, it's not hard at all. But if you're in a situation where you've got groups or an entire class, it's just about impossible. But you cannot let these kids continue to make errors, because if you do and you send that home, they'll practice those errors. And then they'll come back tomorrow morning and they'll do the task with an even stronger response set for that particular set of errors. And now you've got to back up the bus, unravel all of that, reteach it, and get them back up to speed. Now, who wants to do that? That's not an efficient use of time. So there are lots of ways to get around this. You can use triads. If you've got a group, take your top student, match them up with your bottom student, put another student in the middle, and let them practice together while you're teaching the next group. And the triad will have the top student who can monitor both middle and bottom student. It'll have the middle student who can monitor the top student. And when we're doing our practice and measurement, the low-performing student cannot monitor the middle and top student because he doesn't have enough skills yet. But he can run the timer, and he can decide which order things are going to get done in. And then he can also take all the charts and everything and put them back in the folders and manage the whole operation. So everybody's got a useful job in the triad, and everyone can get things done in a hurry. And you can get directed practice so that either a teacher, an aide, a parent, another pair of hands who knows this skill can help that child or the set of children to practice effectively and not be making errors which they're going to perseverate when they go and try to work independently. Directed practice is just really an extension of the lesson. That's why they have worksheets and workbooks, and that's why most of us have created all kinds of materials to balance or to have the children working while we're doing something else. Now, in our case, all of our worksheets contain examples and non-examples. They always have the number of items in that set down the right-hand column of the page so that you don't have to count everything. They always have an indication of what the timing is going to look like. 30 seconds, 1 minute, whatever it's going to be. And so what we have is a highly differentiated practice sheet with examples, non-examples, a fluency standard, and a level of correctness. And when the kids can hit those, then we're in really good shape. Okay, independent practice. How do you know when you should let the kid go free? Turn them loose. Well, count their errors. If they're making more errors than the standard calls for, don't turn them loose. They're not ready. If they are making fewer errors than are allowed by the standard, then you can let them practice by themselves or with another student or whatever. But you're pretty sure that they're not going to be practicing mistakes. And that means you're not going to have a problem of trying to rectify a situation that kind of got away from you. All right, independent practice, it's just essentially get them to build fluency. They know the concept, they know the application, they can take the final E rule or the rule for multiplying fractions, and they can do it consistently, but that doesn't mean they're fluent. And unless you provide them with sufficient practice, they are not going to get fluent. So we need those materials available to them, and we need to know before we give it to them that they are not going to be making errors. We need to know that they're going to build fluency, they're going to get strong, they're going to be ready to move on to the next pinpoint.